So here we are in our syllabus, and if we scroll down, we have our tentative class schedule, and then very first assignment is the letter of complaint assignment. And this is due Monday before you come to class. And I want you to read through all the guidelines, both now and also after you've written it, to make sure that you've followed everything. So what this says is, I'd like you to write a formal letter of complaint to a company in regard to a product or service that has been unsatisfactory to you. In the letter, you should make a distinct complaint about your experience, and then you should support that claim with 3 specific reasons. So you're following the 5-paragraph essay model for this assignment, which means there should be 5 paragraphs for this assignment. Every time I assign this, some students include 3 or 4 paragraphs. Since we've gone over the 5-paragraph essay model so much, I want it to be 5, and I want it to follow that model. So you might want to make yourself a note. This should be a 5-paragraph assignment. I will remind you of that again in this video. So I'm asking you to think about a real-life experience you've had where you've been dissatisfied. And so it could be that you went to a restaurant and you got bad service. It could be that you bought a product, like a shirt, that fell apart and wasn't worth the price. It could be that you had a really good experience with a place most of the time, but this last time that you bought the product or went to the restaurant, it was not so great. Either way, it's got to be a real experience. Now, I'm obviously not going to track you down and figure out if this was real, but please, with your own integrity, don't make this up. Make it a real thing, okay? And you're going to use you won't need any outside research for this. You're just using your own personal experience to support this. So I've given you an example of an unacceptable thesis statement and an acceptable thesis statement. So let's look at those. Here's the unacceptable thesis statement. The new iPhone is too pricey, frequently out of stock, and expensive to repair. The reason this is unacceptable is that it's 3 reasons, but there's no unifying claim. Remember, from our thesis definition, we need a claim plus 3 reasons. This is missing a claim. Here would be a better thesis statement. Purchasing the new iPhone was not an enjoyable experience for me because it was too pricey, frequently out of stock, and expensive to repair. Notice that I have a claim. The claim is that this was not an enjoyable experience for me. I have to support that claim with reasons, and I have 3 reasons to do that. So in each paragraph, I'll keep reminding my reader of my claim, which is it was not an enjoyable experience for me. It was not acceptable to have this experience. Okay? So make sure you have the claim and the reasons. The word because helps make sure that you have both. So make sure that's in your thesis statement. Your full and final draft should be typed, single-spaced, formatted as a business letter, and follow the 5-paragraph essay format. It says on the back of this page, but you know it's in your reading packet. Your letter should not be longer than 1 single-space page. If it has to be, you can have it be a little longer, but think about who's reading it. Think about your audience. This is a CEO that you're writing to. They're very busy. So a multi-page letter, they're probably not going to read. So try to stick to 1 page. Please note this is one of the only assignments that does not follow the formatting instructions in your syllabus. Usually your papers for me will be double-spaced, but for this one I want you to follow the business letter format, which means single spacing. In all of my assignment sheets, you'll see this at the bottom, which is kind of a list of items that I will be grading on. And so what I like to do, if I were a student, what I would like to do is to use this as a checklist. So when you're finished, go through each of these and actually put a check mark next to them for yourself to make sure that you've checked all of these things in your letter. If you do, and if you followed these guidelines, then you should do very well on this assignment because this corresponds to my grading rubric. So first, I'm looking for, excuse me, a specific complaint about a product or service. I'm looking for a thesis statement, okay? And where should it appear? The last sentence of your intro paragraph, right? Good. Secondly, I'm looking for supporting evidence for the complaint. If, for example, if you claim that the iPhone is not a good product, you need to give 3 reasons why it's unsatisfactory and use concrete details to describe those reasons in your paragraphs. So if one of my reasons is that the iPhone is too expensive, I will want to make sure that I name the price. How much did it actually cost me? If I had to wait in line for a while for it, how long did I have to wait in line? How long did it take me to drive there? Include those concrete details, those facts from your experience. Number 3, I'm looking for effective organization that ascribes to the 5-paragraph essay guidelines that we went over, as well as consistent business letter formatting. So if you go to this website, you will see 3 examples of how a business letter should be formatted. You can choose any of those formatting options, but don't combine them. Just pick one and follow it. And it includes where to put your address, where to put the recipient's address, etc. In addition, please note that although these examples have only 3 paragraphs, you are required to write how many paragraphs? 5. Please do not forget 5 paragraphs for your assignment. Number 4, I'm looking for attention to your audience. So we've talked about this a lot already this semester, writing a professional email, keeping it formal. Now you're writing a professional business letter, and I would also like it to be very professionally worded. Even if you are frustrated, you can be frustrated in a way that shows respect and that shows that you really want the company to take you seriously and to improve in their practices. One of the ways that you can maintain professionalism is to not simply write your letter to Dear Apple or to whom it may concern. Instead, I want you to take some time and find the CEO or president's name of the company. In most cases, you can do this by looking on the company website, but you may also have to just Google CEO of Apple, okay? If you can't find the company or president's name, email me, and if I can't find it as well, I'll say, okay, you can write to whom it may concern. But most times I can find it and I'll give you a hint for how to find it. But try yourself, try doing some Googling to find the name. By the way, this whole assignment comes from my mother-in-law who loves to write letters of complaint. She's just really good at it. And she gets all kinds of free stuff. She gets like free hotel rooms and gift cards and letters of apology. It's pretty amazing. And she says, she's given me a lot of tips for this assignment. She says it's really important to write to the actual CEO of the company. It's important to give a lot of details, to be respectful. That's how you get results. So I'm not guaranteeing that you'll get any kind of gift card as a result of this, but she knows what she's doing. So try it out. As I've said here at the end of number 4, a sensitivity to your intended audience throughout the letter using formal, respectful, and clear language is vital. And then finally, I'm looking for a letter that is relatively free of grammatical and punctuation errors. So please proofread as well as you can in this letter. And I'll be giving you a lot of feedback on grammar so that you know what to improve upon for future assignments. But, you know, in particular, I'm going to be looking for concrete nouns, because we've gone over that. I'm going to be looking for commas with introductory phrases. And I'm going to be looking that you've used spell check and have really taken the time to proofread your work. As you'll see at the bottom, extra credit will be given to anyone who emails or mails his or her letter and receives a personal response at some point this semester. So if you'd like some extra credit, try actually mailing out or emailing your letter to the CEO. And if you get any kind of response, I will give you extra credit. So let me know about that as we progress through the next few weeks. That is the assignment. If you have any questions, you may ask Amy or email me. But again, you are following that 5-paragraph essay model. I want to see that you can follow those rules perfectly, follow that format perfectly, and use this assignment sheet as your checklist for this first major assignment. You will be submitting this assignment through ChalkUp, which I have sent you an invitation to through email. And Amy will go over that a little bit more with you in detail. If you have any trouble submitting to ChalkUp, please email me the assignment and also explain the trouble that you're having, and we'll try to troubleshoot that since this is the first assignment that you'll need to submit to ChalkUp. Should be pretty straightforward process. Again, make sure that you have figured out a way to have computer and internet access before Monday so that you have time to both do your Googling, look up the instructions for formatting a business letter, and submit your final assignment to me. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.